Treating and drying wood cross-cut sections or cookies with Pentacryl or wood juice by Preservation Solutions. Cross-cut sections, also known as rounds or cookies, are a popular cut of wood to work with. Their rustic flair makes them desirable accent pieces for weddings as centerpieces, as cake or cupcake stands, or other decorations. Cookies also make great tabletops or coasters, or just for display, like this 200-year-old cookie from the New England champion hemlock at the Mount Tom Visitor Center. The wood from a fresh-cut tree has a high moisture content, sometimes over 50% of the wood's weight, and when exposed to the air will start to dry right away. The outer layers of the wood dry faster than the interior. As this water evaporates, it causes the cells to shrink and collapse. This uneven drying and shrinking then causes the wood to crack, split, and warp. Pentacryl prevents the cells from shrinking by displacing the water in the wood and leaving a thin coating on the wood cell walls. Though popular to use, cookies are also the most challenging type of cut to stabilize, due to the high tension in the outer rim of the wood. The tension increases the farther away from the pith you go, as the wood will want to split from the outside inward, forming a pie-shaped crack. Up to 85% of drying in wood is through the end grain. Since cookies are 100% end grain on each side, it is best to treat the wood right after it is cut and before it has a chance to start drying. If you do not plan on cutting the log until later, you can coat the ends of it with end grain sealer or anchor seal to prevent this area from drying and cracking. If the wood is cut and it isn't possible to treat it for a few days, first, lightly spray the surface with water. This will keep the wood moist. Do not add too much water because the more water there is, the longer it will take to dry. Then, stack the cookies on top of each other and wrap them in plastic, secure with a piece of tape. This will keep the air from getting to the wood and dry it before you're ready. However, do not leave the wood in plastic longer than a few days. You don't want them to get moldy. Pentacryl versus wood juice. Which one to use? Both of these products are wood stabilizers that will prevent cracking, checking, and warping as the wood dries. Pentacryl is used to treat wood with a high moisture content, generally greater than 25 to 30%. This is fresh-cut wood. Wood juice is formulated to treat wood that is semi-dry, with a lower moisture content, generally less than 20 to 25%. It will penetrate into the drier wood better and prevent future cracking. A moisture meter can be used to gauge the moisture content in your wood. Meters can be purchased easily online and range from $30 to a few $100s. There are two methods used to treat the wood: soak with smaller pieces or brush on with larger pieces. Whichever method is used, complete saturation is required. Pentacryl works by displacing the moisture in the wood. It pushes the water out and stays in the wood, leaving a thin coating on the wood cell walls. This prevents the cells from shrinking as the wood dries, thus significantly reducing the cracking, checking, and warping. For help determining how much Pentacryl or wood juice will be needed, enter the size and type of wood into the wood calculator on our website, www.presol.com/calculator. Pentacryl does not contain a fungicide or a pesticide, so if you are concerned about your wood having insects, you can treat it with a pesticide to kill the insects prior to treating it with Pentacryl or wood juice. We recommend using a product called BoraCare. It is safe, effective, and easy to use. Follow the instructions on the bottle. If possible, soaking is the most effective, since it ensures the wood gets completely saturated. Use a plastic, fiberglass, or rubber container for soaking. Stainless steel is also fine, but no other metal containers, as it will react with the tannic acid in the wood and darken it. The size of your wood will determine the size of the container you use. For small pieces, Tupperware or plastic bowls will work. Several pieces can be soaked in a bucket, or this horse stock tank works well for these very large beechwood cookies. Or a custom soaking area can be made using some lumber like 2x6s and heavy plastic. We recommend putting stickers on the base of the soaking area. This will lift the wood up and help the Pentacryl or wood juice to absorb through the bottom. These chopsticks work well for this small pine cookie. Do not use anything that is metal. Several pieces can be soaked at the same time. Just be sure to leave space between the wood so that Pentacryl can easily penetrate each piece. Branches work well as spacers between this wood. Pour enough product in to cover the wood. If the wood floats up, put something on the wood to hold it down, like this gallon of water. Cover the top of the soaking area with plastic to keep any exposed wood from drying out and prevent the Pentacryl or wood juice from evaporating. Small pieces should be soaked for 24 hours per inch of thickness, and large pieces for 36 hours per inch of thickness. It will not harm the wood to soak it longer. When the wood has soaked long enough and is completely saturated, remove it from the soak and let it drain. Other wood can be treated in the same Pentacryl soak, or it can be poured back into the container to be reused later. We recommend straining the Pentacryl to remove any sawdust or pieces of bark. When the wood is too large to soak, a soak tank is unavailable, or you have multiple pieces to treat, the brushing method can be used. This method is effective as long as the wood gets completely saturated. This means several applications will need to be applied to the wood. Lay plastic down and again put stickers under the wood so it is not sitting directly on the plastic. Brush on a nice heavy coat to the top, then cover with plastic to help the Pentacryl soak in and prevent the wood from drying while it is being treated. When brushing from the top, you will eventually see Pentacryl start to come out the bottom of the wood. In some cases, wood can be brushed on the top while it still wicks up from the bottom. This can be beneficial when you have a piece that is too large to turn over. Again, when using the brushing method, keep the wood wrapped in plastic in between brushing applications. You may see white residue on the surface of the treated wood. This is water being displaced by the Pentacryl. Once the wood is saturated, the next step is to control the drying. Even though Pentacryl and wood juice speed the drying by approximately 30% because the water is being pushed out, the wood still needs to dry slowly. Remember, up to 85% of the drying occurs on the end grain, and since cookies are 100% end grain on both sides, they will dry quickly. Mold. If you are drying the wood in a high humid area, or the wood had a high water content to start with, there may be a chance of mold growing on the surface while it is drying. To prevent the mold, we recommend lightly spraying Lysol on the wood prior to drying it. There are several ways to control the drying. For each method, stand the wood on its edge so both sides can dry evenly. Small pieces can be put inside a cardboard box with the lid loosely closed, or buried in a pile of wood shavings, or wrapped in paper. If there are a lot of cookies to dry, you can create a drying rack like this one. Be sure it is in a temperature-controlled area inside with not a lot of airflow. Also be sure the wood is standing on end with space between for even drying. For medium to large cookies, we recommend cutting cardboard circles and taping them to both sides. This slows down the end grain drying while still allowing the wood to breathe and dry through the cardboard. Or, end grain sealer can be applied to slow the drying. Be sure not to put it on the bark. Be sure to prop the wood up so they don't fall over. When drying large pieces, it is best to use both end grain sealer and cardboard like this big maple piece. A special mobile drying rack was built for it. Drying time. There's no set answer for the time it takes for the wood to dry or lose its water, as it will depend upon several factors. How much water was originally in the wood, the type of wood you are treating, how dense it is, the size of the wood, and the temperature and humidity where the wood is being dried. The key is to take your time and dry it slowly. Again, a moisture meter can be used, but it will only measure the moisture as far as the prongs will go in the wood. For large pieces, we want the inside to be completely dry too. Allow at least 3 to 6 weeks for small pieces of wood, while it may take up to 1 to 2 years for large pieces to completely dry. Once the wood is completely dry, you can now work with it. It will look and feel like natural wood. Pentacryl and wood juice will not add any significant weight to the wood and will not leave it sticky or tacky. The wood can be sanded or stained. Oil or alcohol-based stains and dyes are recommended, as water-based products may leave the wood tacky. The treated and dried wood can also be wood burned. The wood will easily accept a finish. Again, oil or alcohol-based products are recommended. What will you create with your wood cookies? Find wood cookie craft ideas, step-by-step instructions, Pentacryl, wood juice, and other wood treatment solutions at preservationsolutions.com.